If you're watching this video, it means that you have a strong desire to help people feel more comfortable in their own skin and to really help all sorts of people who have scars or stretch marks that they feel really insecure about. And that's really, really exciting. And then I would say, in addition to that, the fact that you're watching this video in order to make sure that you're tattooing safely and legally is another step of the caliber of artists that we love to work with, because it shows me that not only do you want to help people, but you want to be sure that you're doing it the right, safe, and legal way. And that says a lot about who you are as a person. So you're already off to a great start. In this video, I'm going to share with you the most common first steps in order to really become a paramedical tattoo artist. So first things first is you're going to have to understand and look up the state tattooing licensing laws and regulations for the particular state that you're planning on working in, that you live in. And then I would say sometimes certain counties and cities will have variations of those regulations as well. For the most part, most states, tattooing is unregulated, which means that there isn't a ton of hoops and certifications and hours and years and months that you have to put in training hours or certifications to really become a tattoo artist in a legal sense, to be able to tattoo legally. So that's a great thing, but then it comes with a lot of other variables, which means that even though the entry to getting into or becoming a paramedical artist is very low, it also is dangerous. So there are a lot of artists who don't know how to wrap their tattoo pin, don't know how to deal with bodily fluids and blood, don't really know how to tattoo or have a very sterile place in order to tattoo people safely. And that is really scary. So I foresee in the future, as tattooing grows as an industry, think about permanent makeup artists, that we're all tattooing, your brow artists, that's all tattooing. I do believe that this will become a lot more strict. But in the meantime, as you're watching this video, most likely your state doesn't have a ton of regulations. So typically, a state will require you to have a bloodborne pathogen certification. You can do this online. It's a quick course that will teach you about bloodborne pathogens, how to handle bodily fluids, how and why it's important to keep sterile conditions in your workplace. But it will most likely not teach you how to safely operate, sanitize, and prep your studio, your place where you're going to be tattooing your room, and specifically in the sense for paramedical tattooing. And so that's what we offer when you train with us, is we'll actually teach you how to set up and wrap your tattoo machine, how to cleanse and prep and also clean up your workstation and the areas that your clients are laying on, etc. So all of that is where we go into much more detail in our training program. But more than likely, your state will require you to only have that, which again is kind of scary, but at the same time, it allows, the benefit is that it allows really great artists who are intentional and want to be integral and have ethics to really get into this industry to help people much faster, at a much faster rate, instead of having to go through cosmetology school or aesthetic school, for example. So below this video, depending on where you're watching this, we will include a free state tattooing licensing guide, alphabetized by state, to help you out. Now, this is a disclaimer, this was done a year ago, so it's your responsibility to just, again, call your state board and confirm that all the information is relevant for your state. Now, what if you live in a state where you do have a lot of hoops and hours that you have to complete before becoming a paramedical tattoo artist. That's not a bad thing. It makes you more of a well-rounded artist. You're gonna have to put in the hours and the patience to really learn your craft anyways. And so for you, it might be more of a benefit to find a trainer that can accumulate as many hours as possible while you also start applying for your tattoo license. And this applies to everyone. So even though you will need to have some sort of things to prove that you are trained to legally tattoo in your state, most likely, whether it's a bloodborne pathogen or whatever the case may be, you can do that simultaneously while you're actually training. So, and we have a lot of artists that do that, a lot of students that come to us, they'll come to us to get trained, to start accumulating those hours and that experience and knowledge to then use to apply for their tattooing licensing. So that is number one step you must do, because again, you don't want to take some training and then have it not apply towards credits, or get into tattooing and start tattooing people and taking that risk. Because we are permanently altering people's bodies without knowing what's actually required for you to do it ethically and legally in your state. And so that is the number one thing you must do. And so again, click the link below this video to see what your state requires from you. And no matter what it does require, you can do this simultaneously as you get trained. The second thing that you need to do then, so now that we know what your state requires from you, the second thing is to actually find a trainer or an educator that you like to train with. So this is really interesting because there's a lot of great trainers out there, and then there's a lot of subpar trainers out there. So one of the things that a lot of people don't know about this industry is because tattooing is unregulated, it ends up attracting a lot of people who really shouldn't be training, who don't have the experience to start training. So there's a lot of people in this industry who will get trained and then within a week start training other people on what they trained. Now, you can imagine the risks that are involved with that, because now you're just perpetuating a technique that really needs to be refined in order to work on compromised skin. So remember, when you step into the paramedical tattooing industry, you are always going to be working on compromised skin, damaged scar tissue, which means that there's a lot more risk involved than working on healthy skin. You can cause more scar tissue. You can make someone's insecurities even more prominent. Oftentimes we're dealing and we're working with people's biggest insecurities. And it's very easy for you to make those things stand out if you aren't trained properly. In addition, when you start tattooing has a permanency effect to it. So yes, there's options for tattoo removals and all of that stuff, but it's not an easy process. And then given the fact that you're dealing with compromised skin runs a whole range of risks when you're actually trying to remove it. So when we make mistakes as artists, it is not as easy as just using an eraser and being like, oopsie. So those are all those things that you really have to take into consideration. So when you are looking for a trainer and educator, one of the things that I would have you ask yourself is, what type of learner are you? Are you the type of person that needs in-person attention, that actually needs someone to look at your technique, who can literally physically maneuver your hand and tweak it? Are you much more engaged when you're in person with someone, where you can ask them those questions immediately and get immediate responses and answers back? Those are those things that you need to ask yourself. Are you the type of learner that learns much better in smaller group settings or larger group settings? So first and foremost is figuring out what type of learner that you are. The second thing is then when you find a trainer that has a training program that's conducive to your particular learning style, is then all about seeing their portfolio. You want to be sure that they're a credible trainer. Are they in the arena, as I like to say? Are they literally in the industry? working on compromised skin? Do they have a portfolio before and afters of a variety of scars and stretch marks and things that you want to actually work on? That is so important because in the world of social media, it's very easy for artists to steal other people's work and or promote their students' work all the time, but they're not necessarily in the industry. So they're kind of out of touch. And because everyone's scars and everyone's skin and everyone's body and everyone's health are so different, I promise you there has never been someone that I've tattooed that had the same type of scar, the same type of skin texture, health, healed exactly the same as someone else. Every person that I have tattooed in the 6 years that I've been doing this has been so different from each other. And that's what makes this interesting, so exciting for me personally. But at the same time, it keeps me on my toes. And so I would feel out of integrity if I was an educator training a bunch of artists how to do this if I was completely out of touch with this craft, because I'm constantly learning new things as an educator. I'm learning new inks to use, new techniques, new needles, in order to refine and enhance and build upon my expertise. Because again, every person is so different. So that's what makes us a very well-rounded mentorship, is because we're literally still taking clients. We know what it's like to land clients, to market yourself, to work on a burn scar versus a cancer removal scar, or a stretch mark on this person's skin tone versus another person's skin tone. So that's why it's important to make sure that you find a trainer that's conducive to your learning style, and also making sure that you check in on their experience. Are they in the arena training, or are they still in the arena taking on clients, working on clients, so that they can give you the most up-to-date technique? And then the third thing is to look up their reviews, students, their training testimonials, as well as client testimonials. What kind of business are they running? Are clients happy? And then that proves that they're also in, that they're still in the arena versus just student testimonials. And then just looking at their portfolio, making sure that it's really consistent. It's not too edited, it's not too filtered, so that way you can really see true real life results. And then I would call them, and talk to them. So to really make sure that they're going to be a great trainer for you, because training is expensive. It's definitely an investment, and you really want to be sure that you're putting your dollars into investing in yourself and in your business and in your craft in order to do it the right way. And there's so many people who come to me every week who are like, I wish we would have trained with you, or I got burned, or I just spent $4,500 on this person. I didn't learn anything, and I didn't feel confident. And a lot of those things could have been mitigated with a lot more discernment and research, and just getting them on the phone. If it takes a trainer days to get back to you, I think that says a lot about how they're running their business, and are they going to be available for you as an artist, a new artist, if something happens and you need to get additional support or answers after you train with them. If it takes them weeks to get back to you, months, or whatever the case may be. I just believe how you do one thing is how you do everything, usually in life. And so that says a lot about, well, how responsive are they going to be, for me if I need help, and is that really going to actually benefit me? So those are those things that I would take that little extra bit of time to do in the beginning, that is going to be so valuable for you in the start of your business, in the first year of your business, to really sustain that. Okay, so now that we know that you know your state tattooing licensing guides and regulations and laws, now you have a trainer that you'd like to get trained with. And now the third thing is getting certified. So actually following through, getting trained and getting certified. The reason why the certification is important is because after you're done training and you're ready to go, you are going to want to protect yourself as a business. So you're going to want to set up your LLC. You're going to want to open up a business bank account. and you're going to want to get insurance before you ever put a needle into someone. So that insurance company is there to protect your LLC and protect your business. Most insurance companies will ask you for proof of a bloodborne pathogen, because if they're going to insure you, they want to know that you understand how to work with blood and bodily fluids and to keep everything sanitized, sterile, and safe. And then two, they're going to want to know that you've been certified in paramedical tattooing in order to really insure you. So they're going to want to look at your consent forms, your bloodborne pathogen, and or your certification to show that you're actually trained and skilled to do this type of service so that they can insure you. And so that is going to be the last step of the process. And then really from there, you've gotten all the legal stuff, you've gotten the insurance, you're protected. And then at that point, it's really about, where do you want to work? Do you want to work in a salon suite or a studio? Or do you have, are you already in a space right now? And then really about marketing and promoting your new business, your services, and really getting clients so that you can continue to build your portfolio, build your reputation, and really grow a fulfilling business and helping people feel really, really good and confident in their own skin. And that to me is probably the most rewarding aspect of this business, and also that it's creative. So hopefully this video helped you. We will have all the links and everything that I shared below this. And then if you have any other questions, maybe you're in this industry already and you just needed a little bit more guidance, we do offer, it's very limited, but we do offer one-on-one coaching calls as well to really help you jumpstart your career, whether or not you train with us. And then if you do feel like this is something that you would love to do with us, we offer a 5-day in-person training to really hone in on the craft and the fundamentals of tattooing. So that way you understand how to read the body, how to read the scar, the stretch mark, the compromised skin, how to work with a variety of scars. And then you're enrolled after 5 days, you're enrolled in our coaching mentorship program. So you're with us for an entire year where we do coaching calls, we share case studies, and really continue your education. So that way you are a brilliant, talented, competent, and confident paramedical tattoo artist. So thank you so much, and I will catch you guys on the next video.